and cold here in Minnesota, so it's not a sweet tea lemonade day for me. All right, let's give it another 1 minute and we'll go ahead and get rolling. So for those of you that have not met yet, my name is Nick Martinez. I live out in Minnesota. I've been drinking and sharing ketones now for the last 7.5 years. It's absolutely flown by. When I got started, I was a full-time pilot. I did not know what ketones were. I was not familiar with the state of ketosis. However, I did go from being tired all the time, having no energy, to the opposite of that. And as a result, started sharing it with a bunch of people, got excited about the results that pilots I was flying with were seeing and started to share it with more of them. So here we are 7.5 years later. And the purpose of these huddle calls is really just to give us a point of connection each day, a point of maybe hearing something new, hearing something different. And at the same time, being able to take the stories that we're hearing, the people that we're learning from, build our own belief in what we can do, the power of what we have our hands on, and at the same time, hopefully give you a little nugget that you can take away and apply. The goal isn't to just have a call so that you can hop on it and say, hey, I built my business today, but it's so that you can leave it and take action with maybe something new, or maybe just a slight shift, that 1 degree shift of something a little bit different than you've done before. So our topic today is the enroll portion. And enroll, when it comes to ACE, it goes beyond just signing somebody up. However, what we're going to talk about today is really how do we get to that step where they're saying yes, where they're making the commitment, where they're jumping in and either becoming a customer or becoming a promoter. Because a lot of times we'll have a lot of attraction, we'll approach a lot of people, we'll start to connect them with different information. And then we're like, Nick, I've had all these conversations going, I've connected them, but they're not ordering and they're not getting started. What do I do to help with that? So before these next 2 individuals kind of go into some training, I want them to just introduce themselves and share a little bit of their story. So the first one I'm going to call on is Ashley Riddle. If you haven't met her, she lives out in Houston, Texas. She's been part of the community for a while and has an incredible business and is an incredible leader of just a ever-growing team. So Ashley, what's happening? How's it going?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to share. Like Nick said, I live outside of Houston, Texas. I am a mom of 3. I have 2 boys that are 16 and then a daughter that's 25. I've been drinking and sharing ketones for 6 years, which seems just crazy to me, but time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yes, it does. Awesome. So Ashley's got just one of the things I love about Ashley is she's consistent for the last whatever number of years we've really been dialed in together. She's hit multiplier every single month. She's always on my leaderboard as far as new enrollments, but beyond that, she's actually created a large community. So she's not just doing it herself, but she's taught people how to do what she's doing. So you're going to hear just a little snippet of what she's doing in her business and applying. The other person that we have sharing today is another awesome individual. Her name is Mandy. And Mandy has mastered the art really in the last 2 months of helping new promoters get started, as she's hit Recruiting Roundtable and kind of in the top numbers there, which is really exciting. So Mandy, would love for you to just share with us a little about you before we get started here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mandy Podlesny. I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I've been drinking ketones for 6 years. And yeah, that's it. Hi.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I don't want to take up any more of the time. Our goal is to be on and off these calls in under 30 minutes. That way you guys can just plan on it and get a lot of value and then go about your day. But I'm going to turn it over to the 2 of you to really just share with us about this kind of beginning portion of the enroll step, which is ask the question, or how do you help people get started? So go for it.
Absolutely. All right. I'm going to toss it to Ashley in a little bit, but I didn't want to make it about me. So, because I have a whole bunch of information for you and we only have a little bit. So I'm going to fire hose you a little bit here. For the greens though, 80% of sales require an average of 5 follow-ups in order for them to make a sale. 5. How many of you guys quit before like 1? Right? A lot of people. So 44% of people actually only follow up once and quit. And 94% of people quit 4 follow-ups. So lesson number 1, you're about to have a breakthrough. Don't quit. Okay. So raise your hand in the chat. So just type me a yes if you feel weird, like asking for the sale. Like, hi, do you want to buy ketones? Right? It's weird and awkward. Raise your hand in the comments if you feel annoying when you're like, oh, I don't want to bother them. I feel like I followed up too many times, right? Yeah, I see the chats blowing up. Okay, well, guess what? We're all in the same boat. I was the same way. When I started 6 years ago, I was so weird. I didn't want to bother people. I actually didn't even really want to do this business. I was like embarrassed I was doing it. So this takes practice. This takes a long time to master. But again, tip number 1, don't quit on yourself, because this takes practice, just like building a muscle. So there's that. Then the biggest breakthrough that I personally had was that when you stop taking things personally and you start doing your actual job, which is not going for the sale, it's making the offer. And then trusting people that, 1, it's not personal when they say no. It's not personal or weird or awkward when you're following up to offer them an opportunity to change their life. It's easier and easier and easier to actually start doing this. But we have to get in the art and the practice of actually flexing that muscle of asking for the sale. Think of it this way. When you go to a restaurant and the waitress is like, hey, do you want an appetizer? And you say no. Do you think that the waitress goes back into the back room and starts crying and is like, oh my God, I feel so annoying. I asked them for an appetizer. No, you're just not hungry at that present moment. That's where you are on your journey. So don't take it personally when somebody says no, because they're just not really ready yet. Does that resonate with everyone? Does that ever like alleviate and pop some pressure? Right? Like, okay, good. Because I want to alleviate the pressure and build your confidence. Okay, so you, when you're eating your journey, you're just simply not hungry for that shrimp cocktail. That doesn't mean that you don't enjoy shrimp cocktail. It just means that you're just not ready for it right now, or you're just currently hungry, or not currently hungry, right? So in order for somebody to get ready for their ketone journey, you have to remember, again, it's not personal and it's our job to offer. Our job to offer, your content is the offer and kind of asking for the sale. And Ashley's going to go into a couple of these strategies, but your content's the offer. Your follow-ups are the offer. And you can hit them in a million different places to make offers: text, email, your posts, your Facebook Lives, your stories, etc. So once we recognize that it's not personal, and once we recognize that all our job is always be offering, this is exactly how I start now talking to people after I've done all of the offering. So I always assume that I'm not their top priority, because we live in a dory society. Like, how many of you guys like, oh, sending a text and then like actually never sent it? Right? Like, we just lose our attention span so fast, right? So I always assume that I'm not their priority. I also assume that they, depending on where they are in their journey, if they haven't bought ketones yet, they don't understand the juiciness and the goodness that we have here, because they're not a prover yet. So we have to just make the assumption that they don't know exactly what they're saying yes to, and they don't know necessarily the power that we have. So it's our job, again, to continue to follow up. So I always remember that and keep that in the back of my mind. And how many of you guys like write like 10 pages long worth of like texts, or like, oh my God, we have a sale today. Like, are you ready now? Like, da, 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 and then no one answers you, right? And you kind of people ghost on you. Well, we have to remember that you have 2 seconds to grab somebody's attention, and people have kids and dogs and husbands and all the things, right? So what I do, and what I call it, is a tweet like talk. I say what I need to say in the shortest amount possible. And I use attention grabbing language, and I ask questions, and then I let them respond. So I know that's all theory. I'm going to go into like super strategy. Is everyone tracking with me so far? We're all good? Okay, cool. So we have to look at where they are in the journey. So if they're not yet a customer and you've been doing your offering and things like that, and you sent the campfire video, they're finally interested and they haven't responded yet. What I would personally say is, oh my God, exclamation point, right? You're more likely to respond back to an, oh my God, exclamation point message than you are somebody being like, hi, just following up here, right? Do you see that? Do you see where your brain goes when you say that? Like, oh my God, wait, what does she want? Hi, just following up here. Oh yeah, probably gonna ignore it because the dog's barking, right? So I always do attention grabbing, like little captions in the beginning. So I'll be like, oh my God, can't believe how busy this week's been, exclamation point. Have you had a second to watch that video? Super simple. And I let them respond back. Now, how many of you guys have done this before, something like that? And then you get like 4 blue pages, right? You're like, oh my God, it feels so annoying. Like this person is totally ghosting me. So what if they ghost so many times? I would continue to follow up, but I would say, hey, do you want me to cross your name off my list? I don't want to be annoying, or I don't want to be annoying, or I don't want to be a bother. Do you want me to cross your name off my list? Most people respond because they don't want to be crossed off. They don't want to be excommunicated. They want to be part of the community. And most people, when you say, do you want me to cross their name off the list, will watch that video in that moment. So that's what I do there in terms of getting them on their eyeballs on the campfire video. When I'm trying to get people who are fence sitting and things like that, I would say, what questions can I answer for you so I can get these into your hands ASAP? Because it forces them to give you the questions and reasons why they haven't moved forward. And then it ends on a question when most people are more likely to then respond. And then when you're feeling annoying, sorry to be annoying, but we have an awesome sale and I would hate for you to miss out. Is today the day to get started? And then another one I do, hey, oh my God, real quick, I'm about to run to the post office. Would love to get you a trial pack today. Are you interested? So it kind of hits people like, depending on where they're at in their journeys. And then if they're on a trial pack or they're a current customer and there's like a sale, how many of you guys like always be like, oh my God, hey girl, we have a 25% off sale, blah, blah, blah. And then it all go, and then like nobody responds, right? And then you're like, oh, why am I not making sales? So what I do, I say, hey, did you hear the news? And I let them respond because people want to know what the news is. Or I'll say like, oh my God, exclamation point. Or sometimes I just say hi and let them respond. And then I tell them what I need to tell them. But I don't say, we have a 25% off sale. You need to be on SmartShip, blah, blah, blah. I just say, did you hear the news? And then I let them respond. No, I didn't. We have a crazy sale today. Do you want the deets? And then I tell them it's 27% off. So I break all of the process down and get them to buy in every step of the way instead of just giving all the information away so that I get them to subscribe. So that's all my notes and that's all I got. So I'm going to toss it to Miss Ashley Riddle.
That was awesome. I love it. Thank you. I got some great nuggets out of that too. So I appreciate you sharing. I'm going to talk about follow-up. So I actually love follow-up. And I always say that find a system that works best for you because that's the one that you're going to use. And over the 6 years that I've been here, I've tried many different things. Like I tried to use Trello once, if you've heard of Trello. I've used a notebook. I use a Rhino tracker. It doesn't matter what system you use. You just want to find one that you're going to actually use. And so every time that you talk to, let's say you're using a rhino tracker, every time you talk to someone about ketones, or even in person, whether it's on social media, a phone call, write their name down. Okay. And then Prove It gives us a million reasons to follow up. They make it so easy for us. And so whenever you see like a call come across the pulse or a sale, those are all reasons that you can follow up with people. And like sometimes you'll look and you'll think, oh, I have a flavor drop, or, oh, we just had a sale, or, oh, we just had a call. Prove It is just giving you a reason to follow up with those people. And so what I do is if there's a sale, I'll just message them and say, hey, I know we talked about ketones before. Didn't want you to miss out if you're interested. And then I'll insert whatever the offer may be, whether it's a sale, whether it's a flavor drop. You can have like a mixer at your home and invite them over. Hey, I know we talked about ketones before. Would you like to come over and try them? So that's another opportunity for follow-up. You can invite them to an event. I know many people, like whenever we have a Prove It event, they'll invite their customers, and those customers end up, being promoters and joining. So that's another reason to follow up. You can invite to guest calls, the weekly doctor calls. Hey, I know we talked about ketones and you were interested. We're having a call today from one of our, ketone experts, Dr. Heather speaking. Would you like me to send you the link? Or would you be able to get on if I sent the link over? Or what are you doing tonight at 7 p.m.? We have a great opportunity for you to hear more about ketones. I didn't want you to miss out if you're interested. So I always just look for reasons to invite. Like Michael says, if I, would you, and end in a question. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have, is just find a system that works well for you to keep track, and then find a reason to follow up with them, whether it be a sale, a flavor drop, have a mixer at your house, invite to an event, invite to a guest call. You can use the new coupons that we have also. So the $20 off coupons. And, hey, I know we talked about ketones before. Are you ready to get started? I have a limited amount of $20 off coupons, or I have one $20 off coupon that's going to expire in an hour. Would you like to take advantage of that? So, yeah.
That's awesome. Let me ask you a couple questions, Ashley.
Yeah.
How often do you follow up, and when? Like, let's say somebody has a trial pack, or somebody just watched the campfire video. Are you following up with them the next hour, the next day? Do you have a specific amount?
Yeah, I usually wait. If I don't hear back from them within 24 hours, then I will follow up with them. And the reason that I do that, and I don't ever take it personally, I always say that I follow up with people until, and because they have life going on, so I always tell the story about, I wanted this $100 mascara, and the lady never followed up with me, and she had sent me the info, and I was getting ready to buy, and then something happened with my kid, and I stopped, and then a couple months later, someone else sent me the same info, and I bought from them because they followed up with me. So if you can, like Mandy said earlier, just take the emotion out of it and realize that it's not about you, that they could be changing a dirty diaper. They could have had a fight with their spouse, just keep following up until, because if they don't want you to follow up with them, they'll tell you, just like Mandy said, would you want me to cross you off of the list? And then most of the time, anytime I've said that, people are like, oh no, oh my gosh, please keep me on the list, Can
I add to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes too, where we feel like, oh, well, we sent them a Facebook message, right? But then sometimes we have to have the perspective of like, sometimes we're not on Facebook Messenger. And then we also should like be texting, or if you guys do email, like it's taken me 6 years, so I'm not trying to overwhelm everyone, but like, to build on different places. But most of the time I'm on Facebook, but then I'll send like an email out to people and they'll be like, the person that I think is going to respond on Messenger actually responds to my email, or I also don't just post and pray or go into my messages. I'll manually text, right? So today we have our fruit punch, right? So I did a post about that, but then I know that I'm going to pull my report of everybody that bought Keto Up before. I'm going to say, hey, did you hear the news? And then they're going to respond. And I'm going to say, did you see the new flavor? I'm not going to tell them Maui Punch. I'm going to make them respond again. And I'm going to say, it is Maui Punch, right? Would you be interested? So twofold there. One, make sure that you're going to do manual, you're doing like actual outreach physically, but also hit them in different spots. Maybe somebody will see your story and not your Facebook Live, or somebody will see your reel and not your message, or somebody will see your text message and not your Facebook post. So just remember that we have to understand that we're in different spaces throughout our day, and you just never know where it's going to be. So there's that little just follow up as well. And I loved your tips on following up and keeping a system, because I am not the systems girl, I'm the blue.
I love it. I saw somebody ask, what system do you recommend? And like Ashley said, the system that we recommend is a system that you'll stick with. If you're not doing anything, you need to do something, right? And I don't believe in complex systems, because we're always busy and running. So you need something that's basic and that you can do, whether that's having a piece of paper that you just write names on, whether it's having a notebook or something that you just write names on, or maybe it's in your notes on your phone where everybody you talk to's name goes in there. And then the question of, well, how much do I follow up? When do I, there's not a right or a wrong. There's just a do. So what I'll kind of close with, you heard Mandy say in the beginning, the average person might need to be followed up with 5 times. I think the number might actually be higher than that. It might be 5 to 15 times in order to make that buying decision. So if you only hit them once or twice or 3 times, if you only hit them 5 times, chances are they might buy on the 5th or the 7th or the 17th. I followed up with a lady once 54 times. No joke. I counted 54 times, and half of that, 90% of them, she didn't respond. And she didn't respond. I'm like, well, she was interested at one point. I'm just going to follow up again. She was on my list. I gave her a lot of opportunities. Hey, if you want me to, just like Mandy said, I don't want to be annoying. Please let me know if you're not interested anymore. But she didn't tell me to stop. So I didn't. And then 54 times later, guess what she did? She bought. She became a customer, right? So how many people are we letting not experience ketones because we are making it about us when it really is about them? So the saying I like to use, and it always sticks in my head, is follow up until they buy or die. And or tell you no is kind of the philosophy, or block you, that I look into. And do that with a smile, because I know some of you are like, well, I don't want to be that annoying person. No, you're not going to be annoying unless you make it annoying, meaning you're going to follow up with persistence with a smile. If you're sending your text messages with a smile and the energy of like, oh my gosh, I love this business, I love the opportunity to share this, rather than the energy of why aren't they responding? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with ketones? Nobody wants this. Notice the difference between the two. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to follow up with people and sort and sift and find the ones that are ready right now. Right? In the chat real quick, and we'll end with this. I want to know, how long did it take you to make a decision to become a customer? And then how long did it take you to become a promoter? Maybe it was at the same time. Was it a day? Was it a month? Was it 6 months? Did you watch for 0 days for Liam, 2 years for customer, 1 month, and then 2 weeks for Amber, 20 minutes, 2 seconds, 3 months, 18 months, then 8 months for Joy, 3 years. I mean, some of these are insane, right? 9 months, 5 years, and 1 month, almost 2 years, then 2 weeks. So here's what the commonality is in all these. Nothing. I joined because my friend called me. I joined that day. But then I just saw somebody in here that joined in 3 years. My own sister took 9 months to say yes to the product, another year to say yes to the business. So there isn't a one size fits all. There isn't if you message somebody today with ketones, they're going to sign up today. What there is if you create enough attraction and you connect them to enough things, and then you follow up, you're going to go and sort and sift and find the ones that are ready today. That's all we're doing in this. Is I want to find who's ready today, who's ready to get started right now. I'm going to sort and sift and give everybody the opportunity to say yes, and everybody the opportunity to say, I'm not ready yet. So last saying that I'll leave you with is, two sayings. One, say less to more people. Say less to more people. If you're feeling like no one's saying yes, Nick, it's just because you're talking to the same 3 or 4 or 5 people that you've been talking to. So say less to more people. And then the next phrase is wait for nothing. Let everything happen on the way to something else. Say that again. Wait for nothing. Let everything happen on the way to something else. What that means is if you get stuck on the people that said they're going to start, they're going to enroll, and you're just waiting, you're stuck. Your energy's stuck there. You're just like, they feel like they're being pushed. They feel like you're becoming that annoying person. However, if you're not waiting for them, if you're just going to the next person, the next person, the next person, you keep moving forward with the ones that are ready, allow those who aren't ready to come with you. All of a sudden, it completely changes your energy from an energy of pushing or pulling to an energy of traction. So good stuff, guys. Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you so much, Mandy. Appreciate all of you being on this morning. Look forward to our next huddle call on Monday. So I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. There is a up drop coming in 2 hours. I think it's at 1 p.m. or something like that. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of fun with that. We also have tons of great promotions going on for those that qualified for the double QV. Any volume that happens until the 23rd is doubled. So this is like the weekend to charge, the weekend to help new people get started. Think about this. If you enroll a mega pack between now and the weekend, it's not just worth 1,000 towards your overall volume. It's worth 2,000. So everything's doubled. So I would take massive action between now and then. The dollar biz promo is still going on. Like it's still happening. And I was talking to Ashley this week and Candy and some other promoters. And one of the things that like it hit me right now, if you enroll a mega pack or if your new promoter enrolls a mega pack, you're going to earn $90 in our Go Fast bonus. Plus you're going to earn an extra $100. So you want to help somebody get out of the gate and make some income. They go enroll 2 mega packs. It's almost $400 just from those 2 mega packs. If they're new, they're going to hit MVP. That's $500. That's $900. If they're running for multiplier, boom, they're probably already hitting it. That's an extra $250 at least just from those mega packs. So I have not done a great job of articulating the vast amount of like money that we're getting paid right now and always to help new people get started. So keep that in mind. Last thing I'll mention is recruiting roundtable is still out there. We all should have that in our sights and like in our vision and in what we're creating of, hey, who am I going to help get started in this business? So the more people that we're asking that question in the follow-up to, hey, do you want to get started as a customer or promoter? Hey, do you want to do what I do? Do you want to join me? We have to 10x that question. If we 10x that question, guess what happens? We 10x the number of new people that join us. So appreciate you guys. I hope you have an amazing day. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye now.